offer a word of encouragement to those who have not been prepping for the past 2-3 years and are just now starting, and you can't find jars, mason jars in the grocery store. So these are 2-liter bottles, and I just dump the soda out and fill it up with my preps. The other bottles here, these are water bottles, and we drink the water, and I fill those back up with rice and instant mashed potatoes and beans. And you can see if you put an oxygen absorber in it, it does suck that oxygen out. This soda bottle no longer has maintained its same shape. You can see where it's sucked the air out and it's kind of sucking the bottle in right here. So they do work. I would advise keeping them inside. I do live in an RV right now while we're building our home, so I have very little space to store my preps, but I am in my bathroom right now, and you can see it's a bathroom, and I found this in this cupboard. There's some blank space under here, so we just had this cut out right here, and I suppose you could cut that one out too, but I don't want to cut them both out. And then all this empty space back there, I went ahead and stored my preps. Now the glass jars I am going to store outside in a cabinet because they're glass, so they'll stay bug free. But the plastic bottles I'm keeping inside just to keep all critters and things out of there. So just a little bit of encouragement. You can't find mason jars now, so I just use these Gatorade bottles. This is a juice bottle of juice that my children drink. This is another soda bottle, and this is a pretzel. This was had pretzels in it, and just fill it full of rice. And as long as it has a screw top lid on the top when you put your oxygen absorber, this is sugar in the Gatorade bottles. You don't want to put oxygen absorbers inside of sugar. So you can still prep. It's not too late. You don't need mason jars. You can still store away a little bit of food for a rainy day. And you can do it while living in a small space. I've decided to mostly focus my preps on white rice because it seems to store the best and the easiest for now. All forms of beans, lentils, and instant mashed potatoes, and all-purpose flour, and I have some other preps in there, but canned vegetables and yeast, so I can have the ability to bake breads. So I would like to eventually just have a preparedness of rice, beans, and flours, maybe a lot of instant mashed potatoes for at least 3 to 6 months, and then I'll go into prepping, and sugar actually, because sugar you can add to everything and it makes everything taste better. But I'd like to have that stored for 3 to 6 months worth of preps. And then I'll go into more of more additional things you would prep for comfort foods. And there it is, all my preps neatly stacked back in here, and then I will just put a nice little curtain over this to hide it, and there you go. You can still prep here at the last minute, be prepared, and you can also do it in a small living space. Okay, these are the cabinets that I have on the deck, and we originally purchased them just to store our shoes and mud boots and all the things basically that you would store in a mud room pretty much. And we cleaned it out a little bit. I do have a dehydrator and some other dishes stored in here, but then I went ahead and filled all all of these pickle jars that I got from a restaurant. Filled them full of rice, and then there's 2 more right there with flour, and put oxygen absorbers in them because they're glass. I've not had any problem with keeping them outside so far, and keeping critters out of them. So that seems to be working. This is the drawer on the end that I have filled with some other odd ends for being outside. And at the bottom, I went ahead and going to put all of my beans outside in glass jars with oxygen absorbers. So I've got all the beans and lentils, and I obviously plan on adding to this. Now these are jars that we have reused. They once had either spaghetti sauce or some form of salsa or pickles, and I've just repurposed the jars with an oxygen absorber, and I'm just starting to load beans into them. So try to reuse everything that you have, what you have on hand, because I do know that you cannot find glass jars in the stores, glass mason jars in the stores anymore. But you still can prep. So I hope this was helpful.